I was going to do a general transfer roundup, but I'll tell you what, there's so much news involving Jack Clarke, literally in the hour that preceded me lining up to do this video, that I think it's sort of unavoidable. Also, you've got the situation with Pierre Ekwah, who is at the same club as Jack Clarke, who looks like he is quite close to being sold. A number of clubs that are interested: Crystal Palace, Brentford. There's one other as well. A name escapes me. But Premier League clubs are interested in Pierre Ekwah. Now, the interesting thing is with Ekwah that he was at West Ham, and we sold him to Sunderland, and we didn't have a buyback option, which is a sort of unfortunate, really, because he looks to be a really, really good player, and I think possibly someone we could do with at the moment. What we do have, though, is a 35% sell-on clause. Now, a lot of the newspapers and websites are rumouring that it's a 50% sell-on clause. As I understand it, and it's been reported by ex-West Ham United employee as well, it's 35%. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to believe that version of it. Either way, it ain't too shabby, really. And if the rumoured transfer is to be believed, which is around £15 million, you can do your sums yourself, basically. It's about a third, isn't it? So we could well get £5 million out of this transfer, which would be a really nice extra Brucey bonus, I think, at the moment, particularly in terms of us going and trying to search for some players. It's been a little bit of a concern for me, it has to be said, over the last sort of 48 hours, because the people that you really want sort of dropping rumours about West Ham stuff, people like Fabrizio Romano, for instance, they've been very quiet. There's been a lot of other stuff going on. I guess some of it sort of relates to West Ham. Ian Martson, we were after him for quite a long time, weren't we? Now, Martson, as I understand it, signed a new long-term contract with Chelsea until 2027. He has a release clause in there, but also he's now signed on loan for Borussia Dortmund. It's this whole 6 degrees of separation at the moment. We can always bring the story back to West Ham. So Borussia Dortmund have been busy as well themselves. It looks like they have signed Jadon Sancho now, obviously from Manchester United. Sancho, I think that's a loan deal as well, with a view to it being permanent. I mean, Sancho's an interesting one as well, because that was another player that was linked to West Ham. There was never any interest. To be fair, it's all very well me saying it and saying there was never any interest from West Ham in Jadon Sancho. I'm quite sure Jadon Sancho never had any interest in coming to West Ham either. I think, when football's not worked out for you in the way it has for him, the one place he knows he can go and where the club understands him is obviously going to be Borussia Dortmund. So I'm sure that was always going to be his first choice, and rightly so. The other guy that has been linked with West Ham quite heavily is Eric Dyer, and he's gone to Bayern Munich. Who'd have thought that? It's quite funny, actually, because I think a lot of us are breathing a sigh of relief, because he was not a player that was fancied by too many people, that's for sure. But it was interesting to listen to Thomas Tuchel on the TV on Sky Sports this morning, is saying about Eric Dyer, and he said we like Eric because he's a specialist centre-back. Hey, do they know what they've signed? No, he's not. He plays at centre-back sometimes, and sometimes he plays in central defensive midfield. I don't think he's a specialist. I think he's a bit of a utility player, if you want. But a utility player we could probably, I was going to say do without. We probably can't be too fussy. Actually, somebody that could play at central defensive midfield and somebody that could play at centre-back would probably get a game at West Ham at the moment, wouldn't they? Just one other, before I get on to this Jack Clarke thing, which I will do. I don't know if you've seen it, but there is this picture that's been put out on social media, and it's of Jesse Lingard racing Pablo Fornals, right? I know. He's racing Pablo Fornals, and they've done like a little pole at the top, and I think they're out in Dubai, so David Moyes given the players some time off, right? And for whatever reason, Pablo Fornals has found himself in Dubai with Jesse Lingard, and they're racing. So they've both got the bibs on, and they're giving it the old full chariots of fire, right? And the poll is, who wins? Who wins? Pablo Fornals or Jesse Lingard? I will tell you this much now. If the answer to that poll is anything other than Jesse Lingard, then Jesse Lingard's got problems. If he can't run faster than Pablo Fornals, he ain't signing for a club at all. I love Fornals, I really do, but pace isn't one of his attributes, quite frankly. If that same poll had there was a tortoise and Pablo Fornals, and it was saying who wins, the tortoise or Pablo Fornals, I've got to say I would give it some serious thought before dropping my answer on that poll. We got a great competition for you. It's a chance to win a signed Jared Bowen shirt. In fact, not just a signed Jared Bowen shirt, a personalised one. So, dear Gonzo, lots of love, Jared. That type of thing. It's all right. I'm not taking it. It'll be going to one of you guys. All you've got to do to be entered this competition is be signed up to our Patreon. Now, anyone that's already a patron, all you've got to do is go onto the post, just check it out on our Patreon site, go onto the post and write something, your opinion about Jared Bowen, your favourite goal, write something about the song if you want, whatever, write something about there and you'll automatically be entered into the competition. If you're not a patron and you want a chance to win a Jared Bowen shirt, then you can sign up for as little as £3.60 a month. You get a whole month's worth of content anyway, and thinking about it, you'd also qualify for the giveaway that we have at the end of the month anyway, which is another shirt. We're always giving away stuff on Patreon. And you know what? If you don't like it, at the end of it, you can cancel your subscription. You've watched a month's worth of extra content. You've been signed up for the Jared Bowen shirt. No harm done. Links in the description below. Patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Jack Clarke. Let's get to that. Jack Clarke is a Sunderland winger, former Leeds, was on Tottenham's books as well. He's tearing it up in the Championship. Let me say that. A few penalties, to be fair, but he's tearing it up in the Championship. A good player. A lot of people not too impressed because they watched him play against Newcastle when he wasn't very good against Newcastle. Apparently, didn't see the game, didn't watch Sunderland against Newcastle in the Cup. Moyes wants him. We've discussed this already. Moyes really wants this player. And the rumoured fee is £20 million. Sunderland want £20 million. And this what brings it all back round to Ekwah. Start of the video, Ekwah. I don't know if there's... I mean, that would probably be quite a complicated deal, but I do wonder if that's possibly a relatively easy thing for Sunderland to do. All I'd say for Sunderland is that they are within the playoff spots, aren't they? They can get there. They can make the playoffs this season. They won't make the top two, but they can make the playoffs this season. Got a relatively new coach in there. I think Beale's gone in as coach. If they want to get promoted, they probably don't want to be selling their best two players. But not for me to tell them what to do. But if we want him, then there is possibly a deal there to be done, and we do have some minor leverage, I think, with the Pierre Ekwah situation. But David Moyes wants him. David Moyes really wants him. Look, I guess he fits the criteria for what the club want. That is that they want young, homegrown talent, and I guess we need an attacker, and we need an attacker now. Also, Moyes wants somebody who's a left winger. All I would say about him, he's a left winger, but he's right-footed, you know. So I think we're just going to be seeing more of that. You know, that's just how it is. We're going to have inverted wingers. Listen, let me get this right. Whilst I don't think he's the quickest player in the world, I do think he's an improvement on what we've got there at the moment, and I wouldn't mind. I think he'd be a decent signing. I really do. I'm not going to hail him as the next coming of the Messiah. No. But I think he's a decent player, but I think, you know, some people are saying, oh, he's the next Jared Bowen. Well, you know that. I think Jared Bowen is an exceptional talent. There ain't too many who come up from the Championship. And look, Jared Bowen, if somebody said Jared Bowen is would be bought, let's go with Bayern Munich, since they would have come on the top of my head. If somebody had turned around and said Jared Bowen is being signed by Bayern Munich for 75, 80 million, obviously you'd be disappointed, but you wouldn't be surprised at the price. You wouldn't think, oh, that's too good to take. He's one of the best goal scorers in the Premier League. I think it's a hell of a thing to sign someone from the Championship and then assume they're going to become an £80 million player and one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League. But he doesn't have to do that. Jack Clarke doesn't have to do that. He just has to be better than Saïd Benrahma and Pablo Fornals. In case you're wondering, I think Jack Clarke probably beats Fornals and Jesse Lingard and the Tortoise in the race. He's up there in terms of goal scorers, and he does play at the left. I say left winger. He's more of a left inside forward, if you like. A bit of an old term. You don't hear anyone call that these days, do you? But yeah, left inside forward, if you like. And he has scored a lot of goals, really. I think there's a whole group of them that have scored sort of 12 or 13 goals in the Championship. And it's only the top goal scorer, who's Sammy Schmaldix at Blackburn, who's, he's scored quite a few more. Good player as well, Schmaldix. Do you like him? Are you guys fans of Schmaldix? Are you? Be interested to know in the comments below, actually. So, yeah, he's really good. So, aside from him, the best of the rest is pretty much Jack Clarke, which I think is very, very impressive, actually, in terms of him doing well. So, and as I say, that's not at one of the best clubs. They're not storming it at the top of the league, are they? So, very, very interesting. Watch this space. I only bring that news to you now. I've got loads of other people that we've been linked with as well. I'm going to leave it for now. and maybe come back to you on that either later on tonight or probably more likely tomorrow, because I think this one's got a little bit of urgency about it. This one, it's the Athletic who have just started reporting it now, and they are, I believe, a reasonably trustworthy source, unlike some others. Cool, offside. There we go. Anyway, listen, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.